Hello and welcome to today's science lesson. So first of all, guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our lap, and close our eyes. And when you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. And next, we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And let's begin with some rotations. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent. And now we'll do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. And let's shake it out. Arms and legs, shake it out. And to finish, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have a seat, guys. So recently in science class, we've been doing a lot of work on plants. So let's write that word on the board first, guys. Plants. P-L-A-N-T-S. Plants. Now, for the start of this lesson, we're going to see what facts we can remember about plants. And first of all, can anybody tell me any names of plants that they can remember? Rose. Excellent. We have the rose plant. R-O-S-E. Banana is another great plant. Banana. B-A-N. Excellent. So we have rose plant, banana plant. Any others? Lavender. Yes. L-A-V-E-N-D-E-R. Strawberry plants. Yes, we can have strawberry plants. S-T-R-A-W-B-E-R-R-Y. Now, how about types of plants that don't have fruits or flowers? Any ideas? Remembering that don't, moss. Excellent answer. we have moss. M-O-S-S. And another one beginning with C. C-O. Conifer. Conifer. Excellent. C-O-N-I-F-E-R. So we have rose plant, strawberry plant, banana plant, lavender plant, conifer, and moss. And these are the two different types of plants that we've looked at in the past, remembering about flowering plants. Yes, we have the rose, strawberry, banana, and lavender. Strawberry and banana are types of fruit. Rose and lavender are types of flowers. So we can say that this group here are flowering. I-N-G. These are all examples of flowering plants. But now looking at our two other examples, moss and conifer, no fruits, no flowers. They are known as non-flowering plants. N-O-N-F-L-O-W-E-R-I-N-G. Plants. T-S. So remember how we learned how to group our flowers or plants into categories depending on flowering or non-flowering. But we also learned how to group our plants into categories based on age. Can anybody remember if a plant lives for 1 year, what type of plant do we call it? 1 year is an... Any ideas? Annual, yes, well done. A plant that lives for 1 year. 1 year is an annual plant. Excellent. 1 year, annual. But then we have some plants that live for 2 years. And they are biennial. Well done. So 2 year. Biennial, N-I-A-L. So 1 year, annual. 2 years, biennial. And then some plants live for longer than 2 years. Excellent, guys. Well done. You can say it before I can write it. 2 year plus N-N-I-A-L. Excellent, guys. So there's our 3 categories of plants based on age. Annual, 1 year. Biennial, 2 years. And any plant that lives longer than 2 years is known as perennial. So well done, guys. Very well remembered. And then finally, we looked at the different parts of the plant. Who can remember the part of the plant that stays in the soil? Roots. Well done. We had the roots of the plant. And then the long stick that comes up from the ground into the sky. Stem. Yes. We have the roots and the stem. Now, what are the green things on the plant that capture the sunlight? Leaves. Excellent. And then we also have bananas, strawberries, which are examples of fruits. Well done. And also, rose and lavender are flowers. So guys, that was brilliant. Very well remembered about the different parts of plants. And what we're going to do in today's lesson, we're going to move on to have a look at a particular part of the plant. And it's a part of a flowering plant, because we're going to look at things like lavender and rose. Now, what are lavender and rose? Somebody mentioned it earlier. Flowers, yes. What we're going to look at today is flowers in particular, because we know that some plants have flowers, but then within the flowers, there's a whole different set of functions that's going on. And in today's lesson, we're going to explore the different parts of a flower. So first of all, guys, if I say the word flower, what sort of things do you think of? What type of things can you see when you see flowers? Are flowers all green? No. So what can you see? Colors. Excellent. Flowers are many different, beautiful colors. Can some flowers smell? Yes. Some flowers have a nice smell too. Are flowers all the same size? No. We can have lots of different flowers that are different shapes and different sizes. And what we're going to do now is have a look at a PowerPoint presentation for our students to look at the different types and parts of a flower. So let's turn to look at the TV screen, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation, parts of flowers. And as we said earlier, in the picture here, you can see lots of different colors. What colors can we see, guys? Pink, red, yellow. Yes, and notice all of the colors are the flowers. You can see green, but green is the grass. No flowers involved in the green color. All of the colors are the flowers. Pink, purple, orange, red, and here, white. So you can see flowers are lots of different colors, shapes, and sizes. Flowering plants have flowers of different shapes, sizes, and colors. And once again here we can see lots of different types of flowers, lots of different colors. The main function of a flower is to reproduce. And what reproduce means is that when a flower grows, before it dies, it will reproduce another flower so that the circle keeps on going non-stop. A flower will grow, a flower will reproduce, and then the flower will die. And this cycle keeps on going. You can see here the very beginning of a flower. This is what's known as the bud. Bud, yes, the very early stage of a flower. Then here we have the plant. Notice there's no colours here yet. We're not at the flowering stage. All we've got, roots, stem, and leaves. But then, when the plant gets a little bit older, what can you see? Fruits. What type of fruit? Strawberry. Notice how whenever you can see the colour, that's when we know about fruits or flowers. So here, we're at the adult stage of the plant, when it produces fruits. And then what happens before this plant dies, it will produce some more seeds to grow again. Each flower is made up of various different parts. You can see here, look at the picture. This is a cross-section of a flower. Now what cross-section means is that it's a flower being cut in half. So we can see into the different parts. We can see sepal, petal, ovule, stamen, anther, filament. And then on the other side, the carpel has the stigma, style, and ovary. Lots of strange words that you've probably never heard before. This is because it's new vocabulary that relates specifically to a flower. Sepals are the outermost ring of the flower that protect it while it grows. This is the sepal here, guys. You see, they look a little bit like leaves, but they're not leaves, they're coming off the stem. And this is the sepal here. And what it does is it protects the flower. Then the next part, petals. Now, petals are the pretty parts. Petals are the parts of the flower that have color and attract insects. Yes, sometimes when you see a flower, you might see a bee or some other insect crawling on the flower. That's because they're attracted by the colors of the petals. Now, what color are the petals here? Yellow, yes. Quite greeny too. They look like a greeny yellow. Some white too, yes. Here is the sepal that we seen earlier. The green part that protects the flower is the sepal, but the colored parts, petals. Okay? And then we have the stamen. Yes, stamen is the male reproductive part, because all flowers have male and female reproductive parts. That's how they can reproduce. The stamen consists of the anther and filament. Yes. So this here, if we look at the flower, this is the stamen here. But then, because it's quite small, we've made it bigger. If you look at this picture here, this is the stamen. And the stamen has different parts. The green shoot that the stamen is on, filament. And then the top of the flower, anther. Yes. So the stamen has the filament and the anther. And the stamen is the male reproductive part. Then we have pistil. Now, not pistol like a gun, it's spelled differently. P-I-S-T-I-L. Pistil is the female reproductive part. Yeah, so the stamen is like for boys, the male reproductive part. The pistil is like for girls, female reproductive part. And it consists of stigma, style, ovary, and ovule. Lots of different parts. So this here, this area you can see is the pistil. Now the first thing is like the egg, which is called ovary. Yes. And then the long shoot of the pistil, style. And at the very top of the pistil, we have stigma. Yes. And here is the ovule in which the ovary stays. This part here is the ovule. Now, the stigma is the sticky part at the top of the pistil. And what the stigma does, it traps pollen grains. Yes, pollen is the type of parts of flowers that produce the scent. And that's what attracts the animals like bees. Sometimes you'll see the bee fly onto the flower and it wants to eat the pollen. And this is where the pollen is here, on the top of the stigma. You see? Here's another picture now of a bee or a wasp. And it's resting on the top of the stigma, eating the pollen. Pollen attracts insects and other animals to feed off the flower. And that's all the different parts of the plant. What we'll do, we'll go back through them one time and just say the names again so we can remember. Because there's many different parts. Sepals, petals, stamen, which has the anther and filament. Pistil, which has the stigma, style, ovary, and ovule. Okay, try to remember where they are, guys, because in this lesson we have a worksheet activity for you to label and colour your flowers. So you can see here, this is the ovary, the ovule, style, and stigma. And you can see the stigma is the top of the plant or the top of the flower. And that's what attracts the insects to come and eat. Any questions, guys? Okay, that was well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation to learn about the various parts of a flower. And some of the vocabulary is quite difficult, and it's probably the first time our students have used it. So we're going to do a board activity soon to help them. But first of all, it's time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs, guys. And for this stretch sequence, we'll begin by walking on the spot. Stop. Walking on the spot again. And jogging on the spot. Stop. Turn left. Turn left again. Turn left. And left again. Hello. Jogging on the spot. Stop. Jogging on the spot. Quickly. 3, 2, 1. Stop. Turn right. Turn right again. Turn right. And right. Hello. And to finish, we're going to do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a board activity, whereas I will draw the different parts of a flower. And we can see if our students can remember the different parts. And this will prepare them for the worksheet activity too. So first of all, we'll write our title, guys. Parts of P, A, R, T, S. Parts of A, flower. F, L, O, W, E, R. Excellent. So there were many different parts of a flower. I think, if I remember, 10 in total. So let's see if, as I can draw my flower, our students can remember the various parts. And what we'll do, we'll start at the bottom of the flower. I'll just use this pen. So the bottom of the flower, we have does anybody remember the protective part beginning with S? Sepal. Sepal. Well done, guys. The first part of our flower, the protective part, is the sepal. Now, how do we spell sepal? E-P-A-L. Excellent. So that's a good start. The base of our flower is the sepal. And next came the pretty parts of the flower that have all of the colours. So we have things that look like this. Now, can anybody remember what we call the pretty parts of the flowers that have the colours on the outside? Petals. Yes. The pretty parts on a flower that contain colours are known as the petals. P, E, T, A, L. And most flowers normally have more than one petal. So what do we need to do at the end for plural? S. So we can say petals. So now we have sepal, petals. And then we move on to look at the reproductive parts. And what we'll look at first is the female reproductive part, and that's the part that goes right up through the middle of the plant, of the flower. So we can see here, this is something called, beginning with P. Sounds a bit like the gun, but it's not. It's a pistil. Okay? This entire part here, from here to there, is what we call pistil. P-I-S-T-I-L. And pistil is the name we give to the reproductive female part of the plant. But it's made up of 4 different parts. Can anybody remember what this part is called here? Where the egg goes for the reproduction, beginning with O. Excellent. This is called the ovary. So let's draw this on here. We have ovary. Excellent. We've got the ovary. And the ovary is where the reproduction will take place. And for reproduction to take place, we need an egg. And the egg will go inside the ovary. Does anybody know what the egg was called? It begins with O2. Ovule, yes. We have ovule. O-V-U-L-E. Okay, so we're halfway there with our flower. We've got 5 different parts now. The first part we looked at, sepal. Then we moved on to the petals. And now we're looking at this region here, which is called pistil. Yes. And the part where the egg is found for reproduction, ovary. And the actual egg itself is called ovule. Yes. Now this long stem here, this is usually green in colour here, but I haven't got green. Does anybody remember what this is called? It's the same word. Sometimes if we wear nice clothes, we might say style. Yes, this is what we call the style. S-T-Y-L-E. So here we have the ovary with the ovule, then the style, and then right at the very top, the sticky part that attracts the pollen and the insects. Sounds a bit like sticky, but not quite. It's stigma. Stigma, yes. The top of the pistil is the stigma. S-T-I-G-M-A. So excellent, guys. So that's our pistil all named. Ovary, ovule, style, and stigma. And that's the female reproductive part. But what we need to do finally is the male reproductive part. We have to have the male reproductive part too, which is quite small. This here will be the male reproductive part. Now, can anybody remember what it's called, beginning with S? Not stigma, stamen. Stamen, yes. So let me name it in black, called stamen. S-T-A-M-E-N. The stamen. Now, the stamen consists of 2 parts. Less parts than the female reproductive part. We have, on the very top of the stamen, is like the head. Now this is a name beginning with A. Sounds a bit like antlers, but they're not. Anther, yes. The top of the stamen is called the anther. T-H-E-R. And then there is one more part here, which is the long root of the stamen that begins with F. Filament. Filament. Well done, guys. So we can say F-I-L-A-E-N-T. Filament. So the entire part of the stamen consists of two parts, anther and filament. This is the male reproductive part. The female reproductive part is the pistil, and that consists of ovary, ovule, style, and stigma. And the other parts of the flower, the sepal and the petals. Now, these are the various parts of the plant and the flower. So well done, guys. That was excellent. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, make sure every student in your class gets a worksheet. And for today's worksheet, you can see is a diagram of a flower. But all of the various parts are missing their names. Now we have the various words that make up the flower that we've learned of today already. What our students need to do is they need to look at the different areas of the flower and write the correct name to name it in its correct place. And if they can't remember, they can use the board activity that we did earlier as an example. And then, once our students have correctly placed all the names in the correct places, they can use their colours to colour in their flower. Remembering, guys, that the petals are the pretty parts with the colours. But what's the first thing we need to do? Write our names on top. And give our students around 15 minutes for this activity and just help them with anything they need. So Chu, this one's for you. You're welcome. Pat, for you. You're welcome. Nadia, there's yours. You're welcome. Ned, for you. You're welcome. Down, here's yours. You're welcome. Prau, for you. You're welcome. Bangpon, for you. You're welcome. And Lakau, for you. Okay, guys, so have a look. I know my drawing isn't the best. I'm not an artist, but hopefully it will help you to see the different parts of the flowers. Remembering the bottom part, the protective part, the sepal, and then the petals. So what do we think here? This one. Sepal, yes. Might be a good idea. Start at the bottom and then work your way up. And remember, guys, you only need to use each word once. So once you've written it, cross it out. You won't need it again. So the first one, if you can find here, the sepal. And then try to find the petals. Yes. So the petals are these big pretty parts here. What do we think? Petal. Here we go. Petals, this one. Look for the lines that go straight to the point, guys. So what have we got? So this one, this line goes straight to this one in the middle. Pakbon. Style. That line travels to the style. Try to follow the lines exactly to the parts of the plant. Okay, so the egg. So Prau, your line goes to the egg, and the egg is known as the ovule. Yes, or we can call ovary. There you go, ovary. If ovule isn't there, you only need to name it once. We can call it the ovule or the ovary. So use the words on your worksheet. Ovary. Ovary. O-V or U. Excellent, Pak Bung. Okay. What do we think? The protective parts. Sepal. Nadia, you've crossed it out, but you didn't write it. What do we think? The stigma, the very top. Well done, Cleo. Stigma. The stigma is the top of the flower that collects the pollen. Here, stigma. Okay? Let's see. Right there. So this one can be the ovary. Because it doesn't, the worksheet doesn't have ovule. So what we can do, guys, you don't have to worry about ovule. It just has the one word for ovary. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet activity where they had to label the various parts of the flower with the correct vocabulary, like we've done on the board. And my students have all done a fantastic job. And also, as you can see, the colours of the flowers are very beautiful. So we've all done a great job today. So well done, guys. And that's all we've got time for today. So we hope you've enjoyed the lesson and now can remember the various parts of a flower. And we'll see you again soon for the next lesson. So bye for now. Can we wave to say goodbye, guys? Bye-bye.